White shot.
Where's Ronnie boy?
I talked to him on my way back from Edmond.
No Ronnie?
No Ronnie.
Oh, he's not coming tonight?
No, he's coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was at the church when I hung up with him at 5:30.
Yeah.
Well, food.
Oh, yeah. Forgot. That's how they get people come there.
Yeah. Big part there. So this will be the most unorganized show of all time, which
means it'll be the best one.
Could be the best one ever. So, yeah. So, T. Fred says hello to my favorite people from Guthrie. Hello, T. Fred.
Too late, T. Fred. You insulted me today.
He did. He went right after you.
Yep.
Wow.
Insulted my professionalism.
He gets a basketball win. Well, assuming they won.
Well, it almost gets a technical.
Almost cost his team.
Almost cost his team the game.
Wow, T. Fred.
And then he attacks me professionally.
T. Fred, it's December 4th. Slow down.
Literally, all I've ever done is love T. Fred.
I know. No.
I'm the only one to pick McGinnis this year. What happened, Chris, when I picked McGinnis? They kept me from going 10-0.
That's right.
Terrible. Terrible situation. There's a lot going on in college football right now, brother.
I've not been around anything.
I haven't either. I just pulled it up because I thought, well, I'll get caught up on what's going on up in Stillwater. And it was like, pulled up the internet. It's like everything's blowing up. And we got some high school news, too.
Yeah.
Big high school news.
I kind of got briefed on the way over here.
Were you able to confirm all this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Good.
Got it confirmed. Let's see here. So out of whack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It's all good.
It's all good.
For those watching, Chris has had a rather busy couple weeks. He's not complaining, but while he's doing this, I'll tell you. I'll just say it this way. Finding talent, making sure production's good to go for every semifinal and every state championship game is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
And my little buddy does it all.
and just people not happy.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to my world.
Parts.
That's where I live. I had a great day at work today, Chris.
Awesome.
Really did. Started off a little bumpy. Had some bad news initially with a client. I mean, nothing like nobody's sick or anything.
Right,
but
yeah.
Just some things didn't go the way the client and we wanted to on a deal we were working with him on, and that's part of business. And about 30 minutes later, the phone rings, and it's this incredible opportunity with this company out of Florida. It was a referral.
Out of Florida?
That was a referral. And I said, let's see, Florida, warm, winter. Yeah, we'll do it. So going to Orlando January 6th for 3 or 4 days. Dave and I will be.
Nice.
So,
well, you have to fly like commercial, regular flight.
Well, I hope not.
Not private.
I think I'd have to. Oh, well, once you do that.
Yeah.
That was quite a day.
That was a day.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was a full day, all packed in 3 hours. I mean, really?
Yeah.
About 4 hours. Yeah, crazy. Everybody needs a Cirrus jet.
Yeah.
I just think that should just be something everybody has.
That would be nice.
All it takes is about $500,000 a year to operate it, and
$500,000 to operate,
and about $10 to $12 million to buy it.
I knew everyone always talks about owning a jet, but
it's the cost.
But operating annually, $500,000 to operate.
I don't know that for certain, but I'm going to tell you that's close.
Fuel, pilot,
yeah,
upkeep.
Depending on how much you're flying and everything. But the pilot itself's $200,000 a year job.
Yeah,
So, hi, Ronnie.
Hello.
Let's see, Ronnie. Oh.
Everyone's having days.
Ronnie don't have any. What's that called?
Oh, and that shirt's green.
Oh, is it green?
We'll see.
What is going on, Ronnie?
We'll see how it goes.
Oh, there's a hat. Whoa,
Okay.
I was worried you would get on here without a hat. I mean, you have great hair.
Oh, I have beautiful hair.
It's just a little disheveled right now.
You'll make it.
Olive drab. Worked out great. Oh, boy.
That's what I look like with no hair.
Oh, boy.
I mean, no hat. It's better than Phil's, ain't it?
Dallas checking in, says, evening, gentlemen.
Thick.
Dallas is a coach for a little league team over in Tulsa, and does all the stuff for us on the east side, keeps everything up to date for us. I don't know if Dallas saw or not, but we had probably one of the best high school football games I ever witnessed and was a part of.
Yeah.
Last Friday.
It was a great one.
That was definitely a top 3 game I've ever been a part of.
It truly was one of the best high school games I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Just punching each other in the mouth. I know we'll talk about that here in a minute, but
Yeah.
it was first class.
It was a big time game. Some other big games. Guthrie's. We've been all the Guthrie games, so those have always been good. I'm trying to think of another game.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, listen.
The Metro Christian Kirk Francis passing for the state record, but losing was something.
Well, I sent you the stats, didn't I?
Yeah.
Did you get that?
I no.
Wasn't it over 700 yards?
I sent
641 or something.
I got it right here. I put it on my Facebooks just so I can have it as memory.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the score sheet, the final stats.
Oh, I do remember. Yeah, I never forget. You did. I remember seeing that now.
Let's see if I got it.
Doug Nelson. Good to see Doug. We'll see Doug tomorrow. We'll see Doug tomorrow.
Here it is.
Looking forward to that.
Kurt Francis, state championship game. 37 for 62, 37 of 62, 2 interceptions, 626 yards, 5 touchdowns, as long as 73. He only got sacked once. Lost.
What was the score?
The score was
626 passing yards and got beat
56-72.
Yeah.
I just remember after the game we were talking. I'm going 30 years from now. He's going to be sitting around going, "Yeah, I've got the state." All-time state
single game
record. It was in the state championship. Threw for almost 700 yards. No kidding. Who'd you guys beat? Oh no, we lost. Unbelievable.
So good.
Guess how many first downs Heritage Hall had in that game?
72 points.
I'm going to say 30.
I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go because they scored all the time.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I'm going to go. Normally it would be 18. I'm going to go 14.
28.
28. Yeah. So, when they get a first down, touchdown.
Metro got 27 first downs.
Good Lord. You know, another great game was the Wagner Cushing.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
That's a good
backup kicker.
Great storyline. Coach went with his gut at the end on who to put out there.
Coach Condit, yeah.
And then, the Hall of Famer. And then I loved what Coach Condit said in the post game when I was interviewing him. He said, this kid went through a horrible knee injury. Said we sat there, we looked at each other and said, "Yep." So we just knew it, and boy, he came through. I mean, this big time. I just got goosebumps telling that.
Here's another stat on that game. So Metro,
real quick, Grant can't stay around for the show, but he's now picking Elgin by 42. It was 50 last week, down to 42.
Okay.
I'm scared.
So on that, back to that Metro Heritage Hall game back on December 1st, 2022. Kurt Francis, they had the total passing yards was 629. This is how you know this. And the total yards for Metro was 614. They couldn't run the ball.
They lost yards.
They lost yards running the ball. Wow. They only got sacked once. Remember too.
Do you remember how physical that Heritage Hall team was?
Yeah.
Remember they had those thumpers. Best weight program in the state.
Best weight room program in the state. We said.
Samaj checking in.
There he is. That's good to see.
Jordan.
Oh, boy.
Jordan. Was Hooker's quarterback injured a few weeks ago? I've not heard anything.
We haven't heard that, but I will
surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
That close game was.
Yeah.
As long as their defense shows up, they'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I've not seen that though.
I don't know if they're going to be able to beat this one blank Regent.
Hooker, semi.
No,
they play Pawnee.
That's right. That's right.
They're semi.
It's Colcord.
They're eliminated.
No, so it's Hooker and who's on that bottom end?
Hooker.
Remember, Fairview lost.
Yeah, but who's on the other side?
Oh, other side.
Regent.
Rejoice.
Rejoice beat Fairview.
Christian Heritage Academy.
Christian Heritage. Okay.
Yeah.
So Rejoice will go through there most likely.
Yeah.
Against Hooker. Hook it up.
Yeah. All right.
Get her done.
All right. 6. Oh, we're late.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome. It is the High School Huddle Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. State championships are here in the great state of Oklahoma. We forgot to change the background, so I think in between breaks we're going to have to switch the background because we always have a championship background, and I'll try to do that in between breaks here.
Well, there's been a lot. There's been a lot going on.
Well, you notice the lights just go right in the middle of Phil.
Well,
how they shine right down on Phil.
Okay, it's this way. I gotta get squared under the point.
The lights are just shining.
Oh, look at the dome, too. There's a light right there on top of the dome.
It's Jesus,
It's
everybody.
called top. Yeah, you gotta have all around lighting. So we appreciate you guys checking us out tonight. It is going to be a fun show. I will tell you ahead of time, I have no note cards. I have no graphics. I've learned breaking news about 30 minutes ago. My brother tells me.
We have no top 10.
We have no top 10. So,
It's going to be the greatest show we ever had.
So we're gonna be. We already won. It's no big deal.
Yeah, so we are going to, this might be the best show or the worst show. I'm not sure what we have.
Oh, it's going to be a great show.
But we have a lot of news off the field today. Is signing day. Is it still called signing day?
I don't know what it is anymore.
Yeah.
There's no rules to it anymore. Kids can come, go, leave, stay.
And you really sign.
It's a temporary. It's like a temp. It's like getting a temporary tag.
Yeah, you basically sign your NIL deal that I'll be making money with this unless another school comes on before
It's a lot like going steady in the 7th grade. It really doesn't mean anything. They could change by 3rd hour. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeez.
So we got state championship games. We got state semifinal games. We're going to go through all the classes. We're even going to throw in some 8-man football, some conversation as well. So we appreciate all the comments. We're going to need all your comments tonight. So bring them on. Let's talk high school football. And, well, I guess the big news, I think, state championship. I think the big news that I learned at 5:30, Kirk Frederick, the head football coach at Tulsa Union, is stepping down from that spot.
Wow.
He will continue to be an assistant athletic director, I think, with Tulsa Union. Yes, athletic administrator is what they call that at Union. So Kirk Frederick, after 18 seasons, stepping down as the Union head football coach. So here
How many
we go.
state titles?
5.
5 state titles.
190 and 41 overall in those years.
That ain't too shabby.
No.
So
Imagine what that record would be if Jinx wasn't there.
yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, 8-4 this year. Got beat by Jinx in the quarterfinals. We're going to talk about that Jinx Owasso game. We were able to have that broadcast. We got a lot to talk about here in a little bit. So, Coach Frederick's son's JT is the defensive back. He's going to go play college football somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good time for Coach Fred to do that, who played at University of Tulsa. As Ronnie said, 190 and 41.
that's incredible.
08, 9, 10, 11, and 16 were his state championships. So we'll see who the next head coach at Tulsa Union is. And remember, last week we talked about the Broken Arrow job opening and some names of interest. The first thing, Broken Arrow, we brought up Coach Hill at Muskogee. Coach Hill will have his state championship game Saturday night this week at 7 o'clock. But, Ficklin, Bird, and Wallace, a lot of Ruffers are graduating, so that might be a good transition for him.
Perfect timing.
That Broken
What do you
Arrow job. We'll see how that plays out. But now you look at Tulsa Union, and when Ronnie told me at 5:30, 35 minutes ago, the first thing that came to my head, Coach Coach Graham with Owasso.
Yeah.
He graduated from Tulsa Union, I think, in 04.
Oh, they're going to come after him.
And Owasso, they're a very senior heavy team, and so I don't know if he wants. You can go back home, win a state championship, go back home, and be the coach there. So that's just the first name. I mean, there's going to be others that pop up. That's the one that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, Owasso obviously has some key players.
Sure.
That are seniors. They had a lot of underclassmen too, though.
They do.
I mean, they're a pretty darn good balance. I mean, we've seen them twice now this year, and I'll tell you, I walked away from that second game even more impressed than I was after the first one. I mean, what a great football game that was.
Yeah, we'll get to that here in just a few moments. So, of course, these big jobs are opening. It could be a domino effect. If Coach Hill were to go to, Muskogee would be a great job. Yeah. And so we'll see how that.
He's got to be on some people's radars. Coach Hill.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, he's been successful everywhere. He was
assistant coach
at Union, and I mean, but I think Coach Graham's probably.
I think he's up there.
I'd say he's on the top of everybody's list.
You definitely had the conversation there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Other big news on the high school front. It sounded like the Carl Albert players.
They all signed.
They all signed today, so no surprises there.
118 Division I commits.
Yeah,
what feels like.
So, any other high school news? Anything big? I think Shaker signed, or Isaac signed with Boston College today.
Yeah. Did Deer Creek kid sign with Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We can look that up to see if Grady Abson.
Yeah, Grady.
Obviously committed to Georgia Tech, and it sounded like he was pretty solid on Georgia Tech. There was, we kind of brought up last week, if OU were to hire Georgia Tech's offensive coordinator, that didn't happen. So
OU went and got him an offensive coordinator that's going to be bringing along a kid that threw for over 3,000 yards, ran for over 800. I think that was a 2-for-1 offer.
Yeah, of course.
The Washington State kid.
Yeah,
a lot of news.
Well, then they flipped the OSU commit.
OSU commit.
OSU had a commit out of Utah, quarterback 3-star, and then Arbuckle came out within 24 hours and offered him, and he flipped from OSU to OU.
Oh, in this class?
In this class, signed this morning. Yep.
Yeah, so a lot of high school news on and off the field. We got a few segments to talk about this, but the game we were at last week we had the triple overtime game between Jinx and Owasso. That was a fun game to watch. 7-7, 14-7, 14-14, and then it just ended in triple overtime. Big-time plays, big-time players on both sides of the ball.
Great coaching on both sides.
Great coaching. Kickers were huge. I just please don't miss this extra point.
Yeah,
please don't miss this field goal. Don't let this come down to them. They were solid.
Rock solid.
Hill and
Grady
Carter,
Abson did sign.
Grady did sign.
Yep.
So, thanks. So, just a fantastic game to be a part of. It really set the tone. There was another double overtime. There was a double overtime game with in the smaller school, but I think that Jinx and Owasso had to be the game of the week last week.
I say game of the week, and not taking anything away from the game that we'll be calling or working this
Friday night.
This Friday. But for my money, I think that was the state championship game. I mean, after seeing Bixby play Edmond Memorial, Bixby played ugly. I think we could all agree with that. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Turned the ball over
Turnovers.
4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Lot more penalty. It was a very un-Bixby-esque type of night. Now, that could just be that game.
Yeah. They'll have to clean it up.
I mean, they still handled Edmond Memorial easily, but I was watching the guys up front, that D-line and that O-line of Bixby, and I'm thinking back to that Owasso D-line and O-line, and I'm going, how do they keep up with those kids?
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to the Bixby kids. I'm telling you, it's a noticeable difference.
And it feels like Bixby's best opportunity is to run the football.
Right.
That's what, you got D1, whoever.
You got Monster, and Monster.
Overton in the middle. And I got to tell you, Hill is a hidden gem for that team.
Big time.
You got 3 junior running backs, you got the quarterback, you got Overton, you got Satterwhite. But that Hill, he doesn't leave the field. I mean, he's the kicker, he's the punter, he kicks extra points. He plays offense. He plays defense. He kicked
a 35-yard PAT.
Yeah, when they needed it.
You talk about pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was absolutely one of the best high school games I've ever seen. It was a fabulous high school football game.
Look at Jinx. Cash Jacobson signs with USC today.
Yep.
Sam Stone, the second leading tackler in Jinx history behind Rocky Kalmus. Javion Entai, who was at Hale, came to Jinx this year as an offensive lineman. Stone and Entai signed with Tulsa today.
Yep.
Tulsa does not have a head football coach, but Tulsa kids, University of Tulsa kind of went away from recruiting Tulsa kids. But
Which
now,
is crazy.
Coach Kevin Wilson, who now has been let go or separated, however you want to say it, started recruiting the Tulsa players. So a lot of Tulsa players staying at home as well there. So, a great ball game. Of course, Bixby beats Ed Memorial to set up the 6A1 game. We'll talk a little bit later on with Owasso and Bixby. Owasso stays undefeated.
Yeah.
And really, really looked apart. And I knew Jinx would take them to the end, and they did. In a fantastic high school football game. So that's a 6A bracket. See, Lincoln Christian Heritage Hall. I was able to watch that game yesterday, and maybe 2 days ago. Can't remember what it was, but Lincoln Heritage Hall hung close with Lincoln Christian there for a while. About the second quarter, especially the second half, Lincoln Christian just wore them down.
Yeah.
And so Lincoln Christian stays undefeated, #1 team all season long here on the High School Huddle. They're in the state championship game against Sulphur. as we thought had easy time to get to the championship.
You know, and I picked Sulphur to upset Lincoln Christian. Listen, not necessarily because I think that's going to happen. I mean, Lincoln Christian's a thoroughbred, right?
Yep.
But Sulphur's a really good football team. Gave Washington all they wanted this year, pushed them into overtime before coming up short. We've seen things over the years where the underdog teams come in that have no right winning that have won.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. And if you're a sports fan, you know that. If you've ever played the game, you know that. And that Sulphur club, there's something about them. I mean, there's just something about them. You know, there's going to be something. I really think this year at Chad Richardson Stadium, we're going to see one or two upsets this year. I really believe that. We didn't have any last year, really. I mean, everything kind of stayed the course. I think Heritage Hall was on its way to beating Lincoln Christian last year. And when Andy Bass goes down, the whole game changed.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll tell you what, Lincoln Christian, they are loaded to the gills. And that's with the two brothers transferring and going to Jinx.
Yeah. Well, talking to the people close to the Lincoln Christian program, they told me they think this team is probably better than last year's team, and that's scary to think how that is. And,
so
and
good.
Beating Heritage Hall 42-14.
Oh yeah, no, they're good.
That's a good source. I will keep.
They're good.
Keep there. But Sulphur, no issues with Shakota 68-21. Remember Elijah Smith? He signed today with the Oklahoma Sooners, the wide receiver. Also plays some defense for the Shakota. They had a great run, but Sulphur obviously. A much better Paul club there. And honestly, this is the state championship game that could be the best possible scenario in 3A to have a late four-quarter ball game.
Could be.
I mean, it could be. So we'll talk more about that game here in a little bit. That is 3A. So the 2As did play this week in state semifinal action. Millwood and Marlow. I was able to watch this game. This was played at Noble High School, and Marlow loses to Millwood 36-34. CJ Turnbull, the quarterback from Millwood, did play in that game. He's been hampered with injuries, but
what a ball game that was.
You know, Millwood doesn't have a kicker, so that's go for two all the time.
Yeah.
And Millwood didn't get one of their 2-point tries, but then Marlow had the football and got a safety, and so Millwood was able to get their 2 points. Goes into double overtime. Millwood gets their 2-point try. Marlow scores and fails on their 2-point try. So Marlow, I thought if Marlow were to win that game, I think they give Washington the best championship game.
Yeah. From a matchup perspective.
Just because Marlow and Washington played, I think, in overtime early this year. So Marlow has that mindset. But we do get the championship game in 2A1 that everyone thought was going to happen, Millwood and Washington.
Yeah, and we've seen it a lot over the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think Washington goes into that game obviously the favorite.
Beat Metro Christian 46-7.
Yeah, just rolling.
Yeah, blew that one.
And then saw today, Nate Roberts signs his official letter with Ohio State University. Go up there and continue his career. I asked Chris, I said, is he the real deal or is he? And Chris goes, "Oh no, he's the real deal."
He'll play on Sunday.
Yeah, I think he's the name to watch at this entire class.
Yeah.
I think going to Ohio State, we'd love to have him at OU or OSU, but I think for him, I think he's going to be utilized a whole lot more in Ohio State's offense.
Yeah, you see a school. I mean, they're going to throw the ball.
They're going to use him.
I mean, they're going to use him. I mean, he's going to get developed there.
Of course, if you go to OU or OSU, you're playing day one.
Oh, yeah.
You're playing day one.
You're playing day one.
Yeah. Bauer Sharping. Woo!
Of course not. Woo! We saw it live and in person, didn't we, Chris?
Yeah,
Alabama.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch.
We'll just bless his heart and move on.
Bless his heart. I'm sure he's a good kid.
Absolutely.
Sure he is.
So we'll talk about that game here a little bit as well. 2A2 football semis were last week. Stroud and Davis. I'm here to tell you, Davis fans, you want me to pick Vian in the championship game. Davis, I picked you to win the state championship
early on
in July.
And then you changed.
And then I changed. And Adair was scoring 80 points a ball game. Yeah. Davis holds them to 24.
Yeah.
And then they take on Stroud, who's averaging 52 points a contest. And I go, I'll go with Stroud in this one. And Stroud scores 6 points.
6 points.
6 points. So now they're going up against number one team, Vian. Davis, good luck. you're going to be happy. I'm going to be picking against Davis here in a little bit. So, but Vian wins over Colcord, 35-16. Cason Wright had a great game. The junior quarterback kind of does everything for Vian, as Vian will try to get over that hump. Davis has been there, done that. Davis can control the football. They used to run the wishbone until 3 hours ago. The story program running the football, and they still do that. So that will be fun to watch. And then the A's are playing semis this week. We'll talk about those here in a little bit. B1 football, that all begins tomorrow at UCO. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Laverne beats Garber 46-6, and Dewar shuts out Hollis 45-0. So no surprise blowouts even in the state semifinals. So we'll see if the Dragons can take down Laverne. And then B2 and C schools have semifinals this week. So we're going to talk about all those individual classes, but those were some of the games from last week. I want to be able to get to some comments here in our first segment. Stay tuned. We got to change the background. I ran out of time, but we always have a different background for state championships. So stay tuned for that. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Dallas did remind us about that 35-yard extra point by Hill.
That was big time. It was right down the middle, too.
It was good. Sure was.
It was a good shot, camera shot, too.
Could have gone for 50. It was. I watched the replay.
So good.
It was good. I didn't catch it live.
Oh, it was good.
What was that?
The extra point, the camera view.
Oh, yeah.
I think I
so
showed
good.
you.
Right, you did. Right from behind.
Oh, yeah. It was big time.
Cody Knox. I got to put the comments there. Let me get Dallas on here real quick. Missed it.
Cody, that might be the understatement of the year. They have a good ball club. Good ball club.
Really, Jordan says.
Say Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan. Hill may play defense, but the number 7 on defense was not him for Owasso. Oh. Okay, thank you. Chris Frost, good friend from Elgin. Oh, we got Elgin Wagner to talk about this week, don't we?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Carl Albert Del City.
I forgot about that.
We got a little show. We got a show.
I forgot about both those.
We got
games.
a show tonight.
Wait a second, they're playing? I thought the season was over for 5A and 4A.
I saw our man Mr. Fields on here reminded me. Chris Frost catching that quarterback fumble on video was good production by your crew. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was. We've had a really good season. So
I hate to do this, but I got to give a lot of credit to Ronnie.
Oh, Ronnie.
Yeah. The nucleus.
The executive producer.
Sorry, executive producer.
Yeah, executive producer.
He renamed himself.
Did he get a pay raise? Oh, I witnessed it live.
He's working his way into a bonus this year.
Oh boy, but Ronnie does a great job because he kind of keeps it all together. But boy, how good are our camera people? I mean,
we got some great shots.
Those shots were stupid good.
Yeah,
I mean, stupid good.
It's always good to get to have those replays because a lot of broadcasts you don't get to kind of see that kind of stuff. But the people that the crew, the third man, the third team on the field. When we've worked with a lot of them, they always go to our sideline guy or our sideline camera and they go, did I get it right?
Did I get that right?
We always tell them yes, whether they don't or not, because we don't make them flustered. But
no, you were good. You were good.
They always ask, and it's always good. And they always so it's always good to get to have those shots to where the crew is did we get it right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I can tell you, I was at UCO's today setting up. We'll have 6 cameras ready to go for the championship game. So
stupid.
Here we go. It is here.
It's a production.
I need to fix my graphics here. Dallas says Owasso had Cherry sign with Arkansas, half signed with OSU. Of course, they were committed to them all year. Duffield signed with OSU. Eric Harris, Utah State. Satterwhite signed with Lindenwood. Okay,
awesome.
I think some people slept on the Satterwhite kid.
Yeah,
I think he's got
an upside.
I do too.
Yeah.
He may not finish at Lindenwood. I mean, I can see that.
He can go wherever
kid.
he wants after.
But I'm telling you, I mean, that kid's. He's something else.
Yeah. Okay. That's a little surprised. I totally agree. Tony Wilson checking in from Chandler. Oh man, I gotta fix that. Good to see you, Tony. Leslie says that was a fun game. Tony says hello to Leslie. Everything's going well in Chatville. William Lewis says, what do you think will win the Super 7 6A championship? Parker versus Saraland. I think he might be in a different state.
I think you're in a different
he's
state.
In a different state. He's
yeah.
Well, hold on.
I saw a message.
Yeah, I did too.
The message was How do you think Thomas Central Phoenix City game will turn out in the Alabama 7A championship game? I replied back, Thomas Central all day.
Well, then right now,
Sorry, William. I don't know.
I'm going Saraland.
I'm going Parker.
Yeah, I think Parker.
I'm going Parker.
I'm going Saraland.
I'm going Parker.
I'm going Saraland.
Yeah.
William, thank you, though. We're in Oklahoma.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate that.
He's been watching.
But hey, maybe one day we'll be doing
He's been watching for weeks.
Yeah.
He's been watching for weeks.
Larry Fields, good to see Mr. Fields. What do you think? Oh, no. Both you and Broken Arrow, great jobs if you get the right coach. # Coach Jones.
Uh-oh. Look out.
Robert Jones. Robert Jones, he played at U.S. Grant, transferred to Carl Albert, went to OSU. No ties, but...
Yeah, I think they'll probably be looking a little broader. Not Coach Jones is a very good coach, but I think those two jobs will be looking a little broader.
Seems like
than
they
that.
stay in Tulsa area anyway. Those jobs do.
Yeah.
They don't really come outside.
They kind of like their little...
Yeah, they like their
And not
bubble.
only that, they're not going to bring in a coach from a 5A school.
It's going to have to... It's going to be a hefty resume.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's got to be somebody that's got a lot of gold balls.
Yeah.
A big history of success. And Coach Jones is an outstanding coach. I mean, he would do a great job there, but
he's done a great job this year.
I just don't think he'll get an
I
opportunity.
don't know if Coach Jones would be... I'm sure he'd be interested, obviously.
Money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot
true.
more money over there.
Tony Wilson, we appreciate all these comments. Again, we're no notes tonight. We're going raw tonight. But Tony Wilson says equal number of turnovers as points for Stroud.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hard to win.
We'll talk about 5A here in a little bit. McGinnis shut up by Del. It was 66, 62 to 0.
Lots of little.
McGinnis, give Del City credit. McGinnis lost that game. That was all McGinnis.
Yeah.
I watched as much as I could.
Is that what upset Larry last week? 'Cause he said he was upset about a
I
comment.
didn't see that.
He said I'm going to be nice today. Up top. You want me to read it or you got it?
Go ahead. No,
He said, I'm going to be nice today. Was a little upset at something that was said last week about the D.C. McGinnis game. But I'm starting to learn it's haters everywhere.
Okay.
I don't consider us haters of Del City.
Well, he might not be talking about us either.
Well, no, that's what I'm
be
saying.
someone else.
That's what I'm saying. I don't consider us haters, so he surely isn't talking about us.
Maybe we motivated Del City to a state semifinal.
I'll go on record. I'm rooting for Del City this weekend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want Del City to win.
Really?
Yes, I do.
Why not?
You don't?
I have to think about it.
Larry's our friend.
Oh, well, we got friends all over.
Yeah, but he's
The young kid for Carl Albert, he signed with OSU today as well. The linebacker.
The linebacker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Calvin.
Yeah. Everyone talks about the OU recruits for Carl Albert, but there's also
Yeah, those other role players.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So,
Kane Davis.
all right, catching up on
kid's
comments
player.
here for our first segment. We need to get a break. Tony wants to know how long does it take to eat at Buffalo Wild Wings? Too long. Cody Young says, I am ready for that Wagner-Elgin game. We're kind of bearing the lead a little bit because we got a lot to talk about.
That's
on this
a game?
Yeah, I think they're playing this week.
They're playing?
Been
Is Elgin any good?
Been waiting for it since week 0.
Is Elgin and Wagner, are they good?
Elgin is.
Elgin's
yes.
good.
Yeah, Elgin's good.
Yeah.
What Wagner?
They're okay.
Have they won very many games historically?
Historically,
Couple?
probably,
Yeah,
a little bit,
kinda
yeah.
average.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Chris Frost released the Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
there you
got
go.
it. Jordan. Oh, he was talking to maybe someone else. Dallas says, I will let you guys. Oh, so I put this on the. I haven't read these ahead of time, so I apologize. I will get you guys a list of who's on offense and defense having 130 kids. We have kids wearing the same number. Okay, well, I thought he was really good.
Yeah. This kid never leaves the field.
Okay. Dustin. Oh, boy. Dustin. Sorry, buddy. Yeah.
What happened?
Adair should be in state. The rest won that game night. Oh, boy.
Oh, come on,
Come on
now.
Dustin.
Dustin.
Here we go.
Stop
Come on now.
it.
Let's don't do that.
It's part of the game.
Cody Knox says Del City for the win. Well, we got a lot to talk about. This is just our first segment. We got a couple more segments to go in state championship games, state semifinal games. And so we are going to get in the middle of it right now with some opinions after our opening timeout. Do remember, our title sponsor is Red River Roofing. Appreciate all of our great sponsors. Getting ready to hear from them and we appreciate them for another successful season here on the High School Huddle. Back after this.
At home, the office, or your commercial building, you want a professional roofing contractor you can trust. Red River Roofing Siding and Windows has been the Oklahoma leader in residential and commercial roof repair, maintenance, and replacement for over 2 decades. Partnering with the best manufacturers to offer the best roofing systems with the best warranty protection and the best financing plan in the industry. Avoid the high volume of underqualified, untrained contractors and call Red River Roofing Siding and Windows today.
Today I'm sharing Golden Chick with the world.
Are you ready to taste Golden Chick for the first time?
100% tenderloin. That's where the golden tenders come from. Marinated for 24 hours. It is amazing. Then we also got the rolls, made fresh.
It feels like they were just baked.
You know why it feels that way? They were.
Every time I go, I love to get extra rolls, so I love it.
We are being kind of photobombed right now by the one and only Clucky. Have you met Clucky the chicken? Don't get too starstruck. He's just a regular guy. One taste, and you're golden. He's on Tender. That's like a chicken dating app.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy.
Exxon was founded by 2 combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exxon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exxon.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Lewis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Lewis Turney a call at 282-7600.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
At Mosquito and Pest Authority, our job is to keep you pest-free. Our signature mosquito control service and pest-proof barrier 360 service ensures that you aren't bothered by mosquitoes outside or pests inside. That's right, 2 brands, 2 services, only 1 visit needed. Don't believe us? We guarantee it, or we'll come back at no charge to you. No mosquitoes, no pests, no contracts, guaranteed. Call Ronnie and Sarah Phillips today at 405-916-0471. Welcome back. We're back.
Hey, championship week.
It is championship week. UCO, Chad Richardson Stadium, looking good. We were there today setting up. And
we sure were.
Looks great. Looks great. Got the cameras ready to go. Producer. Of course, you can watch all the state championship games on the NFHS network. All the semifinal games also on the NFHS network. Got crews from all over the state getting ready for those big games. And we're going to be talking about some of those big games here in a little bit. Big thank you to our title sponsor, Red River Roofing. And, Bo, I can't think enough how great this place, UCO. By the way, UCO, they got blown out like 78-14.
Yeah, 76-14, something like that.
And so
in an absolute blizzard snowstorm.
UCO was a 4 seed, and they took on the 1 seed.
Yeah.
And if UCO would have beat the number 1 team, and if number 2, number 3 lost, UCO would be playing Saturday, but number 2 got beat, number 3 got beat, UCO got beat. So if they would have won, they'd been hosting.
So we would have had 3 games that day.
We would have 3 games on Friday. We would have had a UCO game at 1 o'clock on Saturday, and a high school game at 7, which I thought would have been great because I think
how cool would that have been?
We would have been there for the UCO game.
That's what
I think
I'm
more
saying.
people would, and I think some people would stay for the high school game.
That would have been cool.
But
It's tied 7-7 at the end of the first quarter in that game.
I watched that. I watched it on ESPN Plus.
And then frostbite kicked in.
Yeah. And we get to work with the UCO folks. Saw them today, and we'll be hanging out with them. We know their kids' names by
For the
now.
next 2 weeks.
But they got to do their first ESPN Plus broadcast. ESPN sent them their production stuff.
That's big time.
Yeah, it was great. So that was good for those students at UCO who will be helping us out for the championship games.
Well, and
as
they
well.
are all I care about because I love to work sideline in state championship games. Chris called me the other night, and I said, dude, I'll work all the sidelines you want me to work.
Yep.
I love working sidelines down there specifically, but I hope my camera guy's still there. I hope he didn't graduate and go away.
Well, I was told this is one of their best classes they've had, so hopefully he's still there. So
He's good. He's
Was that
good.
Mark that got to do that production?
Yes.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Mark, yeah, Mark's
Yep.
big
Is he
time.
off crutches this year?
I didn't see him today.
I doubt it. he stays limped up. He stays limped up.
I went to set up today, and I pull into our parking space. Oh, I was going to pull into our parking spot. There's I don't know, if there's 85 parking spaces in our area, 83 of them are now handicapped. So there's limited. I had to carry all the carts a mile away. Not necessarily a mile.
That was good, though. I like the story. Yeah. I like the effort.
We get tagged.
I like the effort.
We get tagged.
Yeah. So I didn't get a ticket today by UCO parking cops either. So that was good.
I think those will get taken care of.
Yeah. Dason. Good to see Dason here. Who do you think will win between Regent Prep and Woodland? There it is. I forgot to fix that. We will have that game here in a little bit. We'll talk about that. I hope you're from Woodland.
Yeah, I do
Dason.
too.
Let us know. Let us know where you're from. But we're hoping you're from Woodland. All right, let's get into some of the state semifinal games, and we will begin with Class 5A football. Final Four is here. They had a week off, and it is the Newcastle Racers and the Guthrie Blue Jays in one state semifinal. And on the other side, you have number 1 versus number 2, Carl Albert and Dale City. Big Mid-Dale showdown. Did not play in the regular season. Both teams did play Midwest City. Both teams won that game. But Final Four, we've talked about it a couple times. Newcastle, Guthrie. Newcastle, first time to be in 5A this year. What a great run they've had. Yeah. I don't think they've been in the semis. I want to say maybe since 04-ish, I think. I could be wrong. Guthrie hadn't been to the state semifinals since 2013.
It's been a drought.
So, and Guthrie is well known across the state for their football. So that will be a fantastic game. That will be played at Putnam City High School, Putnam City Stadium. Putnam City Stadium now that PC North and PC West don't play there, it's now
Putnam City
Stadium. They have their logos and everything on there. But anyway, Newcastle Guthrie, and I've said it before for the new folks check us out, and we appreciate you guys check us out here. I really love this bracket. I know everybody wants 1 and 2 in the championship.
Sure.
And we saw that last year.
Yeah.
But on the other side, maybe because we do Guthrie and we're Guthrie people, maybe. But the other side, you're going to have a school, Guthrie or Newcastle, baked to the championship. It's going to be a huge deal. And I know Chad Richardson Stadium is really going to like that because Guthrie Newcastle is going to bring the house.
Oh, they're going to travel
this week and next week.
They'll travel the town.
Yeah.
They'll travel the whole town.
But the other big game, Carl Albert Dale City, that will be at PC North at 7 o'clock. Your guys' thoughts on the Final Four in 5A football. Good news, Dason is from Woodland.
Ooh, good job, Dason.
All right. Good news. You'll want to pay attention later on.
Yeah. 5A football. Well, listen, all year it's been 2 teams and then everybody else. It's been Carl Albert and Dell City all year. I mean, Dell City's only blemish was that early season loss to Edmond Memorial where they got shut out.
Ended up being a good loss.
Yeah, ended up being a good loss.
35-0.
Yeah. Guthrie got off to wasn't really a slow start from our predictions. We kind of knew that playing Tuttle and Blanchard early, there was a 50-50 chance they were going to be 3-0 or 1-2.
Yep.
Right? And they started the season 1-2, lost 2 close games to Newcastle, to Tuttle and to Blanchard. Guthrie's a team that's gotten better every week. Had a lot of young players. Of course, we talked a lot about all the starters they had to replace from last year's 10-win season. And a lot of these young kids are not young anymore. They've grown up before our eyes. They're doing a lot of good things. I think it's one of the better coaching jobs that I've seen from head coach Kelly Beebe and his staff. I think they've done a fabulous job with these kids. Newcastle's a team that's going to throw the ball all over the field. I mean, he loves to throw the football, and they can throw the football. Mm-hmm. I don't have an opinion on who's going to win that game because I'm working that game.
Yes.
So, but I think it's going to be a great 4-quarter outstanding football game.
Yeah.
You get over to Carl Albert, from my perspective, and Dell City. Dell City is the only team in 5A, in my opinion, that has the athletes to match up.
Guthrie played Carl Albert the closest game all season long.
They did. They played them closer than anybody.
29-0.
Yeah, which goes to show how good Carl Albert is. But Dell City has athletes to match up the best.
Did you get that warrant taken care of?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Yeah, clean in Oklahoma.
Okay. Continue on.
But they have the most athletes as far as being close to Carl Albert, but they're not the same athletes.
Yeah.
Now, both well-coached teams, repeat from last year's state title game where Carl Albert took it to Dell City in the state championship game. I think Carl Albert will win that ball game. I think it could be a much better ball game than some people think. I don't think it's a game that Carl Albert's going to come in there and run them off the field. I think it's going to be a heck of a football game, and Dell City's very capable of getting a win. I just think Carl Albert's defense is so good, and they're rolling so good right now. We will see.
I said last week that I think Dell City has a better chance of winning in the semis than they would in the finals against Carl Albert.
Yes, because Carl Albert doesn't lose.
They're just a different team.
Yeah.
They don't. Okay, they've won 18 gold balls.
Trying to tie Ada
for 19, and they've only lost one state championship game. Okay, so
17-1.
So if you want Carl Albert, you better play them before they get the state championship game. So right. I think Dell City, this is the right spot for them to catch them, and not in the state championship game. Okay, and again, the Guthrie Newcastle game, Phil pretty much nailed it on the head right there. Best 2 wins for Guthrie's the last 2 weeks, right? Booker T, who had just a ton of athletes. Holy cow!
Yeah,
they had athletes all over, and Guthrie's defense was able to get a few stops. And again, Newcastle, what a great game they played, as well. And again, it's gonna be a classic Guthrie game because again, Guthrie's always gonna try to stop the run. That's what they do. And again, so you got a real good offense with Newcastle and a real good defense with Guthrie, and it's like we've seen it. I feel like 1,000 times, and it's always really, really good. So that should be a very, very good game. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, we talk about Carl Albert and their success in the semis in the championship game. Guthrie, not to the numbers of Carl Albert, but when Guthrie gets to the semis in the championship games, they have a very good record. They're 4-0 in state championship games, and I know they've won maybe 4-0, maybe 4-1 in state semifinal games. So when Guthrie gets to this part, they usually play pretty good. And as Ronnie said, they have played their 2 best games by far. And you're like, I'm sure the coaching staff for Guthrie is like, man, we wish we could play last week because we're rolling. Now you don't know if they're still rolling or not. Yeah. And they're going to be tested, obviously, with Newcastle. So
Newcastle had a week off, too. So,
that's true.
It goes both ways. So you got to be able to play.
Tony Wilson says, Carl Albert in a cakewalk.
Goodness.
Ooh, hear that, Larry?
Easy, Larry.
Calm down, Larry.
Easy.
Don't get him.
Tony's a good guy.
We will have our Chris Frost. We'll have our picks in our last segment on this one here. I will save my opinion for that game. So, Chris Frost says, "Is it coaching or kids for Carl Albert?"
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's a combination of things. I don't think you can win football games consistently at the highest level if you don't have good athletes.
In fact, Brent Venables was asked this question about Carl Albert at his press conference today.
Yeah, and I don't know what he said, but what did he say? Well, let me finish what I say. Then you can tell me. But I think you got to have athletes. But if you don't have a program and if you don't have coaches that can mold that and get what's great out of those kids, you got to realize they got a lot of these Division I kids. A lot of times people that don't follow high school football will see these kids that are getting all the accolades and recruited by all the Power Fours, and they're going, well, I saw him. He didn't look that great. Well, okay, just hold on. Sometimes we had a kid in Guthrie, Kentrell Brothers, that had a very good high school career, but he went on. He was an all-SEC linebacker and led the country in tackles his senior year in college.
They always say how fast he was just fast enough, faster than the Carl Albert secondary
to make every play he needed to.
Yeah.
And so those kids tend to rise. But I think it's a combination. But I've seen good coaches get a lot out of less talent. That's what always stands out to me. And I think it's just as tough for good coaches to get a lot out of good athletes too. Yeah. I think because those kids, you gotta get them to work together, to be unselfish, to do a lot of those intangibles.
Yeah. So on that, I think Phil's right. But again, you do have 4 big-time Division I on that defense plus Caden Davis. Okay,
correct.
So that obviously helps. But again, Carl Albert, they always put their kids in a position to make plays and win a football game.
Yep.
That's what 100% it comes down to. We've seen all the kids go to Jinx, and we've seen all the kids go to Union at times, and we've seen them go to Owasso, blah, 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 and all these bigger schools. But guess what happened to Jinx early in the season? They couldn't mesh. That's never the issue with Carl Albert. When they get their kids to come in from a transfer or move in or whatever you want to call it, they seem to be playing together immediately. Yeah. They don't take 4 or 5 weeks for Carl Albert to get going. They play good immediately. So it's definitely a combination of both. But again, this is like the first year where the defense is outshining the offense for Carl Albert.
It is.
And the defense is so good. I mean, when I say they're good, they're good.
One of the best I've ever seen.
I mean, absolutely handicapped Guthrie in the game that we watched.
Well, now listen, it's about the Jimmies and Joes, right? You got to have the players.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen great coach. I look at Rafe Watkins, the won 4 state titles here at Guthrie. When he got to Guthrie, had been a head coach for about 10 years, I believe, before he came to Guthrie.
Well, that was coaching in 02. I'll tell you that one right now. Coaching in 02 is what won that one.
But he got here, he was 1 win over 500 as a head coach.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, he didn't all of a sudden learn how to coach at Guthrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have the Jimmies and Joes.
Absolutely. And just kind of sum it up, it all started with Gary Rose. And now it's followed with 2 coaches since then. And Carl Albert coaches are Carl Albert guys. They,
100%.
They go back home and coach very, very well. I think it's a little bit easier now. The Carl Albert's built that up. They're going to get some of these move-ins, transfers.
Right.
Kevin Sperry came in, left. And now you bring a Carl Albert kid who grew up through Middale. He's a Carl Albert Titan as a 4th grader, 5th grader, now a senior. So he gets to do that for his team. But the move-ins transfers are going to make it even tougher. And again, our formula, that if we had the formula, we would have Carl Albert in 6A2 for a couple of years before moving up to 6A1.
And they would win 6A2.
Yeah. So we'll have more. We'll have picks on this one here in a little bit in 5A football. Dallas says, all I'm going to say is the DC defense coordinator Booker T, the OL and CO offense line and coordinator,
co-offensive
coordinator at Sand Springs and one of the DL coaches at Owasso were all the Chelsea staff for 3 seasons. They had a total of 8 wins in 3 seasons.
Jimmies and Joes.
There you go.
Jimmies and Joes.
Jimmies and Joes.
So appreciate that, Dallas. Tony Wilson, he was at Prague and now back to Prague.
Well, Rafe grew up in Prague.
Yep.
Played at Prague. I don't think he coached. I don't think
he did. No.
He didn't coach at Prague before. He went home after he left Guthrie. Went to Muskogee. Then had a short stop at Warner, I believe it was.
Yep.
And then back to Prague. But I don't think he coached at Prague before, Tony. I think he's there now, obviously. But he is home. Prague's home for Rafe Watkins and family.
Yep. All right, Class 4A football. It is.
There we go.
Elgin, and Wagoneer.
Elgin.
Thank you.
Yes, get it right.
Elgin and Wagoneer.
Those fans will come down here and tear you apart if you don't get it right.
Ain't good?
Elgin and Wagner are playing for the state semifinal to get into the state championship. They will take on the winner between Tuttle and Bethany. Elgin and Wagner will play at East Central University in Ada, Oklahoma. Tuttle and Bethany will play at Yukon High School. Tuttle, C.J. Simon, he signed, I forgot where he signed for. But he signed D1, C.J. Simon, I can't remember. The transfer from Moore into Tuttle.
I thought wasn't it like TCU? I was thinking it was like TCU or Baylor or something like that for some reason.
Help me out. Help me out. I didn't have time. I saw it earlier and totally forgot. But Elgin, Wagner, Tuttle, 3 schools that we knew.
Texas El Paso.
Oh, Texas El Paso.
UTEP. There you go.
Okay.
We knew Elgin, Wagner, and Tuttle were going to be 3 of the final 4 teams. Who was going to be the other team? And it's the Bethany Broncos. They beat Ada a couple weeks ago, 30-6. So 4A2 is pretty good football with Tuttle, Bethany, and Newcastle used to be in that. As Blanchard was in there, 4A2 this year. Great district. And they have 3 of the Final Four. So we can say 4A2 is probably the best district this year in high school football.
Yes.
There was another good one.
Yes.
In the smaller class, there was one that was pretty good too as well. But congratulations to Bethany. That is a big accomplishment for them. I saw Bethany at a scrimmage, and they threw the ball well against Elgin and Guthrie. But Tuttle in that finals, Tuttle is a team that we thought would kind of cruise to the championship. I think Bethany will give them a good test, but Tuttle obviously a heavy favorite in that game.
I think so. Tuttle's got a heck of a football team, well coached, disciplined. They've got some great individual players, but they play really, really well as a unit. And then all the transfers that came in this year has just taken them to that next level as well.
And they came in playing together.
Oh, yeah. From week one, they gelled.
It wasn't the case for Jinx.
No, took Jinx half a season to figure it out. Yeah. But the kids in Tuttle, and again, talk about coaching, you got to give those coaches a lot of credit. They were able to bring them in, get them incorporated, get them culturally connected for the Tuttle football culture, and so they've done a heck of a job.
And you have staples in Roundsville and McAdoo.
Well, McAdoo's the guy.
Yeah, he's the heart of that team.
No matter, we saw it down here at Jelsma Stadium when the game was on the line. They didn't look at all the transfers with the big numbers. They looked for McAdoo, and McAdoo came through. I mean, he's just a player.
I find it interesting because everyone's talking about Tuttle Wagner or Elgin Wagner. Tuttle can win state too.
Oh, absolutely, they could.
They can win a state.
And I've thought about that the last few. Tuttle's over there going, let him talk.
Yeah.
Don't mention us. We like that. Just leave us alone.
Yeah. They won many games in Tuttle.
Oh yeah,
many games in Tuttle. So the big one, Elgin Wagner, number 1 versus number 2.
Who's number 1 and who's number 2?
That's the question. I can tell you this. I watched the Wagner game when they beat Clinton 29-0. Kel Charbonneau, I think is how you say it. It's the French. Charbonneau is how the Wagner announcers.
He's the man right now.
He is. In fact, the Tulsa World, they rank their players. Of course, you got to live in the Tulsa area to be on their list. But with that being said, the Tulsa area, they have him as the number 1 player in their player rankings.
Oh, really?
He moved up to number 1.
Wow.
I think last week. I didn't look at it this week, but they do him as number 1 player. And, of course, Alex Shield Knight signed with the Oklahoma Sooners today. He's out with the broken leg, will not be a factor here. But Charbonneau, in that game victory over Clinton, suffered an ankle injury. Remember, he also plays linebacker. He's the quarterback/linebacker, and he was hobbled the entire game. It was noticeable that he was limping. Did not play defense the rest of the night. Yeah. He stayed in there and played quarterback.
Tough kid.
So the bye week last week was a perfect time. There's no way he can be 100%. So Wagner's, they had one of the best players in the state out, and now Charbonneau hobbling. But there's other players besides him.
A lot of good football players. A lot of great players.
Yeah. A lot of players who've been there and done that. Yeah. And they got a great coach in Dale Condon who's been there and done that for years.
One of the best. Phil's named after him, guys.
Yeah, the Phil, yes.
I mean, that's all you got to say.
Yeah. So this will be a great matchup. Elgin has done everything they have been asked to do them from the scrimmage, dominating against Guthrie and Elgin. I thought Guthrie's going to win 2 games after playing Elgin in a scrimmage. Yeah. It was not good. Yeah. It was not good. And then they take on everybody on the schedule and have blown them out. You look in the playoffs, they've scored 43 and 49 while allowing 0 and 6 to their counterparts. Wagner will be their best opponent by far. Elgin, this is the year. If you don't do it this year, I don't know if there will ever be a year for the Elgin Owls. No pressure.
Well, listen, Ronnie's been riding the Elgin train since week 0.
That's right.
So I got to tip my hat to Ronnie, right? He was dead wrong up until the end of the year. But
Shield Knight
getting hurt is a big deal, guys. I mean, it's a big deal.
Tight end, defensive end.
It's a big deal. But saying all that, Elgin's a freaking freight train. I mean, they've got unbelievable offense, unbelievable defense, extremely well coached, an absolute rabid fan base. I mean,
savages.
You want to talk savages? You want to talk about a fan base if they make it to the finals that will show out.
They will be the home team.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
Listen to me now. Bank robbers, go to Elgin in 2 weeks. if Elgin makes it to Chad Richardson Stadium, Go. You could rob every bank in town. There will be nobody there. Just walk in. You don't even bring a gun. Just walk in. Just walk in.
If it's Elgin and Tuttle in the finals, how about they put a wrestling mat in the middle and just get a little preseason wrestling going on?
Well, that's the thing. Elgin's good at everything now. They're good at everything. The only thing I don't like about Elgin is they have a cemetery right next to the football field, and it kind of freaks me out.
That's where all Americans go.
Kind of freaks me out. It's where all Americans go. No, listen, Elgin's a great football team.
Good press box, too.
Great press box.
Great press box.
Great press box. Good host when we were there.
Just enough.
Yep, just enough. Just enough.
Just frustrated. That's all that matters.
I just remember rolling in.
Air, Ethernet.
Yeah.
I had it all.
Room.
I just remember rolling in after I was still a little shook up about the cemetery. And then first thing you see when you pull in is this beautiful performing arts center.
Yep.
I said, okay, something's going on in Elgin.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things going on in Elgin.
Well, it doesn't help that the Lawton kids are starting to
that doesn't hurt. But listen.
East side of the highway, interstate.
We're going to pick this game here in a little bit, but it's just safe to say I think this potentially is going to be the best football game Friday night.
Tuttle Bethany?
Tuttle Bethany. Yeah.
No, Elgin Wagner, that could be the best game all week, including state championship games.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, we got games on Thursday and Saturday.
But I mean, it's all week. You're right. Yeah. But they're absolutely loaded. Now, I will say this, with all due respect to the head coach at Elgin, he's a very good coach, obviously.
Coach Traum?
Yeah, great coach, obviously.
Yeah.
Dale Condon's a legend, and he's very comfortable in big games.
It always helps when you know what the locker room at UCLA.
Yeah, I mean, he can direct people where to go. I mean,
and people don't think that's a factor. That's going to be a factor. It's 100% a factor.
I mean,
huge factor.
Wagner's been there.
Yeah, Wagner's been there, done that.
Again, this is a semi game, but yeah.
Any big game, those kids at Wagner, they expect to be there. Their goal every year is to win a state title. It's not, gee, I hope we win a state title. That's the expectation, is we're going to win a state title.
I'm here to tell you, you guys talking about the Elgin fan base. The Wagner fan base is pretty
incredible fans.
Yes,
incredible. Fans. Very knowledgeable about football, understand high school football, just good fans.
I rather if I had to pick between Elgin and Wagner and Carl Albert Del City, I'd rather the championship game be Elgin Wagner at this stadium.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And instead of the Carl Albert Del City, they're not the fans Carl Albert Del City won't fill this up. But if it was the championship game in that stadium,
it'd be insane.
It would match 6A1.
No doubt.
Numbers.
No doubt.
Those fan bases.
No doubt. Great fan bases, both sides. Going to be one of the absolute best games we'll see all year.
I think it's good. It's at ECU too as well.
Yeah.
East Central. Yeah. I haven't been there in a few years. Got to replay there.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Saw the Cougs.
What was it, about 6 years ago? 7 years ago? 10 years ago?
Yeah, it was.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been a while.
You're in your 40s, Phil.
Yeah, I was a young man.
Rafe Watkins was the coach.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
It's been a while.
It's been forever.
Real quick here, Chris lets us know Elgin seniors are Coach Wyatt's first year coaching seventh graders. Okay.
That's cool.
Jared says, Elgin, let's go. Also says, preach, Phil. Everyone likes when Phil preaches.
Except for my wife. What's my wife's go-to line? Ronnie, you know what it is.
I know Sam's.
Yeah. Chris, your friend's an idiot.
Yeah,
it's very close.
He's
my wife, the night I did the hot chip challenge, was soaking in the tub because I thought I was dying. Yeah. She opened the door, looked inside, and said, "You're an idiot." Yeah. Shut the door and went to bed.
Larry Phil says the Del City Carl Albert is the 5A state championship game. You can.
Wouldn't disagree with that.
But it's not. Because there's a 5A game on December 14th at 7 o'clock, so this is a semifinal game.
Semifinal game. Larry, I get Chris is being passive-aggressive Chris right now. We love passive-aggressive Chris.
Well, I'm just saying this is not the semifinal game.
It's championship week, Larry.
They had a bye last week. They had a bye last week, so it's a semifinal game.
Hey, Larry, let me take care of this. It's much like what I said about the Jinx Owasso game.
Yeah.
I think these are the two best teams in 5A. We all three agree with that. Chris is being on there.
Well, the loser's not winning a state championship.
I've seen crazier things, Larry. I saw a Guthrie team in 02 go against 3 future NFL players, and they mopped the floor with them. So I would say never say never.
If Vegas,
whether it's Newcastle or Guthrie.
If Vegas would have set odds on that 2002 championship game, Booker T would have been a 40-point favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have been.
Yeah.
Dason asked real quick before we look at the next one here. Dason, are y'all going to be at every state championship game this year?
That's correct.
We will be there for every single snap, every pregame, every postgame. Yeah, we will be there. Thanks for the question. Chris Frost, you need medicated Chris back.
Oh, yeah. No, he's back. He's better than ever. It's championship week. It's playoff Chris.
Nothing better than medicated Chris is Sunday Chris. Sunday Chris is fun.
Jordan, I'm biased Guthrie fan, and I like Newcastle, so no. Okay. Larry Fields, no surprise. Larry, do you really feel that, or do you really want that? He says, I'm going for Deer Creek.
You two stop.
Deer Creek? Is it Deer Creek that he's – they're eliminated.
Quit.
Deer Creek is eliminated.
You be nice to Larry.
DC.
Larry brought us a pie.
I know. Deer Creek Lamont? Or what are we talking about here? DC.
Oh, boy.
They're not the real DC. Deer Creek's the real DC.
Oh, boy.
All right. A1 football real quick. Hooker. 46 points against Pecola.
Yeah.
They take on Pawnee. That is a state semifinal game. That will be a fantastic defensive ball game. I think Hooker's offense is a little bit better, but Hooker, I think, has the best defense in A1 football. Pawnee, I would put at number 2. They have been so good defensively this year. Only allowed 13 points in cash a couple weeks ago. I think this is a great, great semifinal game. I think Hooker has had a little bit too much offense to go with their defense. And, so I think I see Hooker moving on to the state championship, and they will take on, I think they take on Rejoice Christian. I was able to watch that Rejoice Christian against Fairview contest, and it really wasn't much of a contest. And, Rejoice Christian, that's a private school in Owasso, right there in Owasso. And they have outstanding facilities. Oh, my goodness. It is big time.
So how good's high school football in Owasso, Oklahoma?
Pretty good. Pretty good. And you imagine if they were one,
Oh, jeez.
There's a lot of kids that aren't good to play, mindset they're not good to play at Owasso, so they go to Joyce Christian and dominate. So
fun
or
stuff.
Vice versa.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah. So that is the A1 semifinal. We'll talk about that. Those picks officially here in a little bit. A2 football. Thomas Fay Custer taking on Talahina.
You sure?
Yep.
Not Talahini. Talahina.
I like Talahini's funner to say.
It is a lot funner to say.
It's funner. It's funner.
There's it's Hina Talahina.
It's funner.
More fun.
Yeah.
Take on Thomas. That game is at Hara High School. And the game in Catoosa, my good friend Doug Nelson will have this broadcast and production. It is Region Prep taking on Woodland on Friday night. Woodland, the number 1 team in Class A football since the very beginning. And they keep proving it week in and week out. 48-14 over Gore first round, beat Kanawha 56-6 in the second round, had the bye week, and now they take on Regent Prep. Regent Prep has put 57 and 37 points on the board as well, and so we will have that championship pick here in a little bit. Real quick before we hit our next break, B2 football, Sealing takes on Covington Douglas. That game is at Cashin. Tony Wilson will have that call, and the other game will be Walika taking on Wilson Henrietta in Drumright. The Drumright crew will have that production and broadcast, or have the broadcast of that game. So that is the Final Four in B2 football. And then finally, one more class to look at in semifinal action is Class C, and that will feature Timberlake taking on Ryan. And the winner of that game will more than likely take on Tipton. Tipton's been really good. We preseason thought it was going to be Timberlake and Tipton. Tipton for THS versus THS. Ryan, though, could be the team to maybe disrupt that a little bit. Ryan, number 3 team in Class C football. Tony says he's not paying attention. Tony, I mean, not a whole lot of people do.
Yeah, it's a good call. It's a good call.
Chris Frost, who is calling Elgin Wagner? I would have to look at my list.
Stand by.
I have to look. There's so many games.
Yeah.
I would certainly think it might be an OSN crew for that broadcast. So, I have to send that email out to all the crews tonight. So, Larry says, before we hit our break, Larry says, that's why I like Phil.
Larry, good man. Smart man. Very astute.
Sometimes he's got to be honest.
He's very astute. Go to break. Let's end on a high note.
Back after this.
Mom, Red River's gonna fix our roof.
Buddy, it's gonna be easy getting a quote after that storm. Have you seen those roofers?
I could get you a new roof. Wait.
That will be out of business next week.
Roofing!
Quit messing with these clowns and call Red River Roofing.
Exxon was founded by two combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exxon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exxon.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Louis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Louis Turney a call at 282-7600.
At Mosquito Pest Authority, our job is to keep you pest-free. Our signature mosquito control service and pest-proof barrier 360 service ensures that you aren't bothered by mosquitoes outside or pests inside. That's right, 2 brands, 2 services, only 1 visit needed. Don't believe us? We guarantee it, or we'll come back at no charge to you. No mosquitoes, no pests, no contracts, guaranteed. Call Ronnie and Sarah Phillips today at 405-916-0471.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma Streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Today I'm sharing Golden Chick with the world. Are you ready to taste Golden Chick for the first time? 100% tenderloin. That's where the golden tenders come from. Marinated for 24 hours. It is amazing. Then we also got the rolls, made fresh.
It feels like they were just baked.
You know why it feels that way? They were.
Every time I go, I love to get extra rolls, so I love it.
We are being kind of photobombed right now by the one and only Clucky. Have you met Clucky the chicken? Don't get too starstruck. He's just a regular guy. One taste, and you're golden. He's on Tender. That's like a chicken dating app.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy.
Welcome back. Segment number something here on the High School Huddle, December 4, 2024. Just to set the stage, 2 games on Thursday at UCO, 2 games on Friday, and 2 games on Saturday. Thursday, B1 kicks it all off. There's a line right below the numbers, not on that screen, but at UCO today for the 8-man football game.
That's fun football.
It's it's a little bit not as wide, but it's still 100 yards both ways. Then the Class 3A state championship will be tomorrow, and then you got the 6A1 on Friday night, 6A2 on Saturday night. Then you have the 2A schools. 2A1, I think, is on Saturday, and 2A2 is on Friday, I believe. So
I haven't seen 8-man football since Caddo Bruins.
Caddo.
Back in, what was that?
Caddo County.
Probably 07, I think, 06, 07. I was down there.
8-man football.
A lot of points.
Lots of points.
8-man football in Kansas. I don't know if this was true everywhere, but 8-man football back in the day when I played, Chris, when I had the leather helmets, we had a town about 15 miles away that played 8-man football. Mm-hmm. They played on an 80-yard football field and a narrower field.
Texas, they have 6-man football.
Yeah. I watch that usually after because they replay it all the time.
Right.
And listen, don't blink.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who wins state titles in 6-man football? Whoever has the fastest kid. That's who wins.
Interesting. All right. Earlier we mentioned 4A2. Is it 4A2 or 4A1? Whatever, Tuttle, Blanchard. Used to be Newcastle.
Yeah.
Bethany's in. I think it's Fort too. But anyway, talking about being one of the best districts. You looked at 5A football, 5A2, best district again for the 25th year, 30th year. I can't remember. I've lost track of how many years District 5A2 is the best.
There's no denying it. I mean, you got 2 teams in the semis in that
Two out of
district.
four.
2 out of 4.
2 out of 4.
That's 50%.
Yeah.
That's a good average if you're playing basketball on the 3-point line.
You could have an all District 5A2 state championship game. More than likely, the favorite is Carl Albert Titans.
Oh, yeah.
In the semis and the championship.
Yeah,
they're the favorite team. 5A2, once again, flexing.
Oh, boy.
Guns showing.
Larry, I'll buy lunch.
Jordan. No, I'm sure Mr. Fields knows. Jordan, do you guys say who was calling the Guthrie Newcastle game? Phil Nichols will be joined with Eric Sherm of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Eric's a good guy. Does a great job to us in. And,
who's going to buy lunch?
Oh, you owing.
I do?
He bought you.
That's right.
He bought your dessert.
Pie. He bought a piece of pie. That's right. Yeah, I'm buying lunch. That'll be fun working with Eric. He's a good dude. And they do a good job.
It'll be fun.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Let me know how it goes.
Yep.
All right. It is time for some state championship picks. We will begin with Class C or state semifinals, and state championship games. We'll work our way up to 6A1. Start with Class C. Timberlake and Ryan game will be played at Western Heights High School. Western Heights always does a great job of hosting those games there. Yep. So Timberlake, the heavy favorite to win state championship before the season started, take on Ryan, the number 3 team. Timberlake,
yes.
Yeah, Timberlake.
Yep, Timberlake.
And Tipton and Tyrone be a great game as well. Tipton will be favorite there. Yeah. That game will be played at Woodward High School.
Ooh.
Our folks ready have Gabe and his crew will have that production. So Tipton?
Yes.
Let's all go Tipton on that one. So we're going to go what we think at the beginning of the year. THS, Timberlake, and Tipton. We'll see if Ryan can mix that up. B2 football, state semifinal game, Sealing against Covington Douglas at Cashion High School. Tony Wilson with that call on the NFHS network. It's not girls basketball game, so it's not going to be a Sealing run rule.
What do you got, Ronnie?
Sealing's going to be the favorite to win, but keep your eye on Covington Douglas. I think it's going to be a real close game. They will have a chance to upset them, but I think Sealing.
They got the Dairy Hut in Covington. I promise you will not. If you exit off, if you go to the Dairy Hut. Oh my goodness! Yeah, you know, you definitely can't miss it.
Can't miss it.
The Dairy at Covington is big time. Dairy Hut. Bill,
I'm gonna go Sealing.
Yeah, I think Sealing gets there as well. Walika, 7:00 in Drumright takes on Wilson Henrietta. There's Wilson over by Ringling. There's Wilson just outside of Henrietta. Don't get it confused. 3 brothers. I'm assuming they play football.
Yeah,
because they won the state basketball title, and
they were good too.
They were really good.
They were so good.
Yeah, really good.
They stood out too.
So we'll see if they can get their team to the state championship again. This time on the gridiron. Walika, Wilson, Henrietta.
Walika
is the program. The triplets. I'm gonna go with the triplets.
Yeah.
Wilson.
It's not a bad pick. Athletes.
There you go.
Okay, so that is B2 football. B1, the very first state championship game to be played tomorrow, 1:00 on the NFHS network. It will be Laverne, the Tigers, taking on the Dragons of Dewar High School. Dewar's the home team, by the way, if you're counting at home, and I know you are. Laverne and Dewar. Laverne, 46-6 over Garber. Laverne 53-6 over Caddo, 51-0 over Snyder. Dewar, pretty easy path as well. So we've had blowouts by both teams. We'll find out what we have in the state championship.
Yeah.
This would be 1 versus 2. There's going to be a ton of points scored, I think. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun to be there, watch that game. But I got Laverne with the gold ball. Laverne.
I'm working the game.
That's right.
I'm not comfortable making a prediction.
Yeah, I forgot that. Phil will be on the sidelines for that contest. I will go with Laverne as well. Got the Tigers winning that one. Cool graphics.
Judge me, Phil, if you think it's Laverne.
Okay. Class Class A2 football.
Okay, I got it.
These are state semifinal games. Thomas Fay Custer taking on
Tallahena.
In one state semifinal. This game will be at Hera High School, 7 o'clock Friday night.
Yeah.
Thomas Fay's probably going to win it, but since I got friends who live in Tallahena, I'm going Tallahena.
And I've got friends that
low places, we know.
Well, two of you. I'm going with Thomas. We have a good friend, Jay Petrie. His dad was a longtime coach out in that world. He's still a basketball coach out in that world. Jay Petrie is first cousins to your former classmates that now coaches at OCS.
Oh, Roofs?
Kingfisher, they're first cousins.
Oh,
daddies are brothers. That coaching tree goes deep.
Roof tracks.
That's right, yeah. Roof tracks. So I'm going with Thomas.
It's easier to say Thomas Fay Custer, so I'm going Thomas.
Yeah.
No, Thomas is a top program. They were in the state championship game a few years ago, lost to Cashin, and then they really dipped down low.
Yeah.
But they obviously have come way back. Carrie is going for Tallahena.
Yeah.
She has family there that lives there, so you can't go wrong with that.
That's right.
All right. The other state semifinal in Class A2. Someone's going to have bragging rights to be the first ever A2 state champion.
That's cool.
Region Prep taking on Woodland. This game is in Catoosa. Doug Nelson has the production, and the call is a big-time production. So be sure to check that out on the NFHS network. Region Prep, Woodland.
Been Woodland all year, not changing now.
Not changing.
Woodland.
Yeah, Woodland.
I'm not batting an eye on Woodland. Sneak preview, I'm picking them Woodland to win next week as well.
Yeah.
All right. A1 state bracket, another state semifinal games. Hooker taking on Pawnee. That game will be in Alva at Northwestern Oklahoma State University.
Go Rangers.
7 o'clock, go Rangers. And Hooker, the home team, against Pawnee on the NFHS network. Number one, Hooker Bulldogs.
I'm riding that Hooker. Go Bulldogs.
Always have. You've been saying it all year.
All year.
All year. His whole life. Yeah. Give me Hooker.
Great logo name. Great mascot.
Yeah.
Bulldog, one of the best with the collar. Oh, it's big time.
That's big time.
Against the Black Bear. I mean, Black Bears, you don't want to mess with Black Bears. I think this is two great defensive teams. I think it's the top two teams defensively in Class A, and I don't think it's really that close. We'll see. Christian Heritage, I'm going to go with Hooker in that game as well.
Good game, though.
The other side, you have great offenses. Christian Heritage taking on Rejoice Christian. Rejoice Christian, no issues with Fairview, 34-7. This game, Christian Heritage and Rejoice Christian will be in Beggs, Oklahoma, 7 o'clock Friday night.
I was the only one who picked Rejoice Christian last week to beat Fairview, and I got them playing Hooker in the state championship game.
Phil?
Oh, yeah.
Rejoice.
And I think, well, I'll save it for the week after, but Rejoice playing really good.
They are. They really are. They can throw the football.
Really good.
Dason says, Woodland, let's go.
That's right.
Dallas says Woodland is too much. Jared Williams said Red River.
I'm going with Red River Roofing, RRR.
Yeah, I think he said Jared's going Red River Roofing.
Yes. That's no upset. Best in the business.
Jordan says he wants Pawnee because he wants an upset.
That's right.
I like upsets.
Yeah, well, upsets would be fun.
Oh,
upsets would be fun.
DC.
There's going to be some.
Could DLC upset Carl Albert? That's the question.
They could. They could.
So? No. Of course.
Ride. Rangers ride.
We know a lot of people. So, Jared, do you know Trent Goss?
Uh-oh.
See if he knows that name, Trent Goss.
Uh-oh.
Okay. We got to get, what we got here? We are at
2A2.
2A2. All right. We'll get to 2A. We'll take a break and come back with 3A and above.
Okay.
Jared says yes.
There you go. There you go. Good old Gosser. 2A2. Someone's going to have the rights to the first ever state championship rights. It is the Davis Wolves and the Vian Wolverines. We talked about this game earlier. Davis started off 0-3.
Yep.
Lost a eventual district title game to Holdenville. They've come through a couple great offenses, Adair and Stroud, to get to this championship game. Defense wins championships, they always say.
They do.
And this is a team, we always talk about Piedmont and their capability of getting the lead and running the ball and never seen the ball for the other offense, that team as well. So they take on the Vian Wolverines, who's been number one all season long. Mason Wright, as a junior quarterback, kind of does a little bit of everything for them. Vian has been so close, like Elgin, so close, just haven't been able to get there. We'll see if it happens this week. Ronnie?
Well, Davis, it's a hell of a run. It was a good year.
Good year.
It was a great year. Vian will win this game.
Vian wins.
You're safe to pick Vian, Chris. You're going to win when you pick Vian, okay? You're safe.
Davis is hoping I'm picking Vian.
Yeah, they're hoping.
Phil?
I've been watching Davis the last few weeks. They're pretty darn good.
Well,
their losses are all to great teams.
Sulphur, Plainview, Pauls Valley.
Come on now. Give me Vian.
Vian Wolverines. Where there's a right, there's a way.
Yeah.
I'm going with Vian as well. Yeah. Davis, that's great news for you. I picked Adair to beat you. I picked Stroud to beat you. I did pick you to win at the beginning of the year, so give me a little bit of grace. I'm trying to help you out here. Yeah. I'm going Vian to win a state championship.
That's it.
Davis
wins. And Davis wins.
I will be happy for Davis or for Vian. They've been so close. They've had some great teams. They've run into some really better teams. In a small way, I would be happy for the purple and gold to raise the gold ball. But Davis has done it before and very capable as well.
So good.
2A1 football is the state championship game. It is the Millwood Falcons taking on the Washington Warriors. Washington State's longest win streak, I think it's at 41 now, which is the third longest streak in 11-man football, I believe, with that. So a game that everyone had been waiting for all season long. It is here. Millwood needed double overtime to get there. Washington needed the first quarter to get there over Metro Christian. Millwood, Washington, state championship.
You know, I underestimated Washington last year. I had a feeling that they were going to lose. It was obviously gas. It was completely gas. They broke the streak to where you guys picked the opposite, and I was the only one who picked separate. They broke the streak. Yeah. I mean, they crushed it.
I know.
Crushed it. And with that being said, Millwood doesn't have a kicker. Kicker's coming big in these games. Give me Washington.
Yeah. I don't think it matters if they have a kicker. I think
took the words right out of my mouth.
I think Washington wins this game by 2 scores or better.
Yeah, Washington, freshman quarterback, right? If I remember right.
Yeah,
to go with all the other studs.
That's thrown for 3,500 yards.
So I like Washington in this one as well. Noah Roberts and crew get yet another state championship in 2A football, this time 2A1. Let's go ahead and get 3A in here real quick. We got time to get 3A before we get our final timeout here. 3A1 state championship game. It is the Lincoln Christian Bulldogs taking on the Sulphur Bulldogs. Guarantee a Bulldog victory in this one.
Mm-hmm. Phil, I'll pick this for you since you're working it.
Thank you.
I'll go Lincoln Christian.
Okay.
Just an absolute machine. Nudge me if you agree.
Lincoln Christian's got the offense. Sulphur's got a great defense. Lincoln Christian took it to Heritage Hall. Simply wore them down.
Yeah.
Wore them down. That's Heritage Hall too.
Yeah.
Lincoln Christian,
Best
they tell me
program.
They tell me this is the best team. I really have enjoyed watching Sulphur this year. I love playing their non-district games were tough. To get them ready for this game, I think Lincoln Christian is a little too much. I think they score a lot of points. Yeah. Good enough defense. It'll be interesting to see who has the better defense.
Yeah.
I know Lincoln Christian will have the better offense.
I will say this. Anybody that watches this show knows who I think, because I predicted this 3 weeks ago. I called who I thought would win this game. So if you want to know who I think,
go back.
Go back
to the archive.
At least 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's
All right. Dallas is going with Sulphur.
Yeah.
Going with Sulphur
Dallas
to win the state championship. Kenny, Washington by 28. Dallas said Washington, then Sulphur. Oh, he had Washington in the 2A1.
Yeah.
My bad. Sulphur would not be surprised. I would be surprised.
No, I'd be surprised.
I would be.
Yeah.
I would be.
I'd be shocked.
Yeah. It'll be fun though.
Would you be more shocked if they beat them or if Del City beat Carl Albert?
Del City beating Carl Albert.
Yeah. I would be more surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to talk about that game here in a minute. We're going to have a prediction. So we're going to take our third and final timeout. When we come back, we're going to look at 4A, 5A, 6A2, 6A1 state championship predictions and semifinal predictions as well. Third and final timeout here on the High School Huddle.
At Mosquito and Pest Authority, our job is to keep you pest-free. Our signature mosquito control service and pest-proof barrier 360 service ensures that you aren't bothered by mosquitoes outside or pests inside. That's right, 2 brands, 2 services, only 1 visit needed. Don't believe us? We guarantee it, or we'll come back at no charge to you. No mosquitoes, no pests, no contracts, guaranteed. Call Ronnie and Sarah Phillips today at 405-916-0471.
For centuries, it was a windswept prairie until the run of '89 saw settlers scramble for land and life in a newborn town as Oklahoma's territorial capital, Guthrie. Bank First is loyal to the preservation movement that reclaimed Oklahoma's first state capital. And we're loyal to the banking legacy born at the corner of First and Oklahoma Streets. Bank First. Loyal to Oklahoma. Loyal to you.
Exxon was founded by 2 combat-proven veterans to help businesses grow from mediocre to exceptional. We know from experience that your culture and trust throughout the organization drive superior performance. Most business owners focus on the urgent rather than the important. They are just struggling to survive. The team at Exxon helps owners identify challenges, build solutions, and focus on growth. Do you trust your team? Does your team trust you? If not, we can help. We are Exxon.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Louis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Louis Turney a call at 282-7600.
Today I'm sharing Golden Chick with the world. Are you ready to taste Golden Chick for the first time? 100% tenderloin. That's where the golden tenders come from. Marinated for 24 hours. It is amazing. Then we also got the rolls, made fresh.
It feels like they were just baked.
You know why it feels that way? They were.
Every time I go, I love to get extra rolls, so I love it.
We are being kind of photobombed right now by the one and only Clucky. Have you met Clucky the chicken? Don't get too starstruck. He's just a regular guy. 1 taste and you're golden. He's on Tender. That's like a chicken dating app.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy.
I have brought you here today to beg you to call Red River Roofing. They have the best trained staff in the state. The Red River sales consultants are experts that make sure every single roof is 100% waterproof.
I appreciate all your hard work.
Please save your questions for the end. In closing, call Red River today for your free inspection.
I'm convinced.
Red River Roofing. Even the kid gets it.
Welcome back, High School Huddle. Final segment here as we get ready for state championship games. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 games each day. We'll take a breath. We'll come back for High School Huddle 1 week from today. And then get ready for 6 more state championships next week on 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Then I'm sleeping for a week.
Yes, you can catch all that on the NFHS network.
It's Christmas.
A lot of back and forth on that on how all that works. But if you want to pay $11.99, you get all these semifinal games we've been talking about, all these championship games, not only this week but next week as well. So it is a great price to watch all those games.
Yeah.
And then you can cancel and then get ready for basketball season.
Yeah, and I tell you, it's a bargain at $80-some for the year. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a high school sports fan, it's as good as it gets.
That's just not Oklahoma. You can watch all the states.
Nationwide.
You can watch Texas high school.
Watch all those recruits.
I watched Kevin Sperry this weekend on the NFHS network.
You get yours for free, though.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't get that for us, did he?
No, we just
He's
get
terrible negotiator.
We just get his login credentials.
Oh, okay.
I have login. I don't have the actual app. I haven't got access. I forget to ask. But yeah, I forget to ask.
Get 3 of them.
Okay. Jerry Williams says, I bet you guys know Scott Mick as well.
Yeah, just
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Is that a girl? I never heard
Scott
of her.
Mick. Never heard of her. Yeah, Scotty Mick's one of our best buddies, longtime offensive coordinator for the Guthrie Blue Jays. All-around great guy.
He played up there. Chad Sanders played up there.
A lot of Guthrie players. Ken McDonald played up there.
Ken played up there.
DeMarco Jones.
I just went blank.
Rafe was up there, right?
Rafe was up there.
Rafe was there.
Yeah.
Was Action up there too?
Who?
Chuck?
I don't know if Chuck was there. I don't think he was.
I don't know if he was part of that group or not.
So many.
A lot of connections there.
Yeah.
A lot of connections there.
I spent many days in Alva for the for the American Legion baseball tournament first week in June. So, all right, let's get to some state championship picks as we make our way to the top.
Yep.
Oh, Chuck was there.
I thought so.
There you
I
go.
thought so.
There you go.
I thought so.
4A football, Tuttle Tigers taking on the Bethany Broncos. We knew Tuttle would be there. Who was going to be the other team? It is Bethany. Victories over Cushing and Ada. And we got to see Tuttle a couple times. Got saw him in person earlier this year. A very consistent team and a team that is capable of winning a state championship game.
No doubt.
Bethany has a pretty tough road. They clipped one of them by Ada beating Ada. Now they got to get by Tuttle and then somebody in the state championship game. So they got a tall task ahead of them.
Tall task. I mean, I think Tuttle wins this game. I don't think it's a blowout, but I think they win comfortably over Bethany.
Tuttle Tigers. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Tigers. Man, I sure like to see Bethany win this game, but I think Tuttle's going to win.
Yeah, I think Tuttle wins this one as well. I think it'll set for a prime championship game Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock. I love afternoon games.
Yeah.
We had it last week with Jinx and Owasso afternoon. Very cool. It's I guess, a little bit different.
Yeah.
So, Dallas says, give me the second best helmet in the state, Tuttle.
Ooh. They do got good helmets.
Boy, Gore's got a really good helmet.
They do have a good helmet.
I love me some Gore helmet.
Yeah, those are just the whole uniform's clean.
I wonder who Dallas thinks number one is.
Oh, Owasso Rams.
No.
That's what he thinks.
Oh, that's what he thinks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
It's not number one.
No.
It's not even close.
Kenny Gillespie is going with Bethany. I will go with Tuttle as well. Did I say that already?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, there's another game.
Oh.
Elgin and Wagner. We have been talking about this, it feels like, for 95 straight weeks.
Well, that's about how long we've been doing it.
This game has finally gotten
all
here.
the talk can stop.
I'm just mad I'm not going to be able to go watch it in person or broadcast it or buy a ticket. It will be on the NFHS network, 7 o'clock in Ada, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Ronnie's had Elgin number one all
year.
Season
all year.
long.
They're one of only 3 of us up here. I've had him number one all year long.
I jumped on the bandwagon.
This is his show. He's the host.
I have had Wagner number one all season long.
That's right.
Then there's the guy in the middle.
I jumped on the bandwagon a few weeks ago.
He's what we call a floater in the Big Brother
he's a huge
world.
floater.
No, that's right.
Big Brother world.
But in other ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
In a car, he's a huge floater.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the truck.
No doubt.
No, that's right.
No doubt.
That's right. Yeah.
Are we picking or?
Oh, we got to pick
are you still
this game?
talking? Well, heck yeah.
Yes.
We're picking?
Yeah.
Oh.
Ronnie?
Well, we know Ronnie's
Oh,
going.
I mean, it's not even a question. Wagner doesn't stand a chance in this game. Elgin, by 42 points. Well, you don't have Shield tonight. 40. Oh, did Grant say 42?
Yeah,
he's saying 44.
Okay,
saying 44. 44 points. Elgin's going to win this game. Shield tonight's out. Charbonneau is banged up, hurt. Just you got to be 100% if you're ever going to beat Elgin in this game, and they're not 100%. I got Elgin by 44.5 points.
Phil?
Ronnie has a long history when he puts big point spreads. That team loses.
Yeah. I remember a couple of them.
30 was my old number.
Is this a lock? You want to go ahead and lock it too?
Oh, I'm not going to lock it.
Oh, not locking it?
Not yet. We'll figure it out at the end.
Yeah, not locking it.
End of the show.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm locking it. Give me Elgin.
There you go.
And for all the reasons Ronnie said, if it was a healthy Wagner team, I think it'd be a great ball game. I still think Elgin will win the game. But I think Elgin wins this ball game. I think they're destined to win the 4A state championship this year.
4A football, Tuttle Tigers taking on the Bethany Broncos. We have been talking about this, it feels like, for 95 straight weeks. This game has finally gotten here. just because I picked this winner here doesn't mean they're going to win a state championship.
Oh, that's right.
Well, you just said they was, though.
No, I know, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
I've proven that all year.
Yeah.
Floater.
So I've had Wagner number one from the get-go.
Sure has.
And so now, if I were to pick against Wagner,
you look foolish.
I would look foolish, especially if Wagner beat Elgin. Go Dogs. Wagner Bulldogs upset Elgin fan base again.
Upset. They're your number one. How's it an upset?
Not according to Chris or not.
Not according to the entire world. Elgin's done everything except for win state semifinal games. But I think I'm going with the team that I've had all season long.
I respect that.
Wagner. I think Caleb Charbonneau is big time. He is hobbled. That will be a big factor.
Yeah.
It's a big factor.
Could be an issue.
Elgin has Ritzenmeyer. They have Tress Laura. They had the offensive line. One of them's going to Tennessee. Then they all flip over and play defense. Elgin is a very, very good team. I would not be absolutely
I think you're talking yourself into the Elgin victory. You go ahead and change? You can change if you
I'm
want.
I'm staying with the Dogs.
The Dogs.
I'm going with the Dogs. I'm going with Wagner to win the state semifinals to get to play the Tuttle Tigers.
I will say this. I do not think it's going to be a blowout.
44.5.
If it is a blowout, it's Elgin.
Yes, that's the only yes. But I think this is, dude, you can say what you want. Coach Condit, he's been there many times. He'll have the kids ready. He's had he's getting his kids ready. He's had 2 weeks to get ready for this game. Charbonneau has had time to get healthier.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good football game. I'm telling you, Elgin, you come rolling in thinking you're going to cakewalk this, you can get a surprise. It'll be a long ride home if you don't.
Come in confident, Elgin. 44 points. You got this.
If Wagner jumps up early, watch out. Watch out. And it's not just the quarterback. They got athletes on the edges. I'm here to tell you. So Dallas is going with Elgin. Grant is going with Elgin.
Oh, welcome back, Grant.
Cody Young is with me. Wagner all day for probably the quarterback's dad, probably. Cody Young. There's not many of us out there, Cody, so we'll stay with that. Chris wants to know what's in the Solo Cup.
Oh, boy.
Nice, ice cold. By the way, Dallas says Chelsea is the best helmet. The Chelsea Dragons.
So it looks like Michigan.
Yeah. The Dragons, the Green Dragons.
Very cool.
All right. So it'll be a fun game.
Yeah, it will be.
We'll talk about it next week. Can't wait.
44.
5A football. It is Newcastle, Guthrie, Carl Albert, Dale City. Newcastle and Guthrie. Phil will have the call of that game. Ronnie, Newcastle, great quarterback. Guthrie has a great quarterback. And two teams that have destined seasons. Both teams 9-3. They're looking in the mirror at each other. They kind of get done different ways, but this will be a fantastic game to get to the championship.
It's going to be a great game.
Yep.
Again, obviously, the great defense against a great offense. And more times out of not that I've seen, especially the last several weeks with Guthrie, the better defense ends up holding the better offense. So I got Guthrie in this game. Very close game.
I'm going to go with the Guthrie Blue Jays as well in a very, very tough physical ball game. Yep. Tough and physical is what Guthrie strives for. Newcastle has proven they can do that this year as well. Newcastle has had a great schedule. Guthrie is playing their best football by far in the two playoff games against Lawton Mack and Booker T. Two teams that have been in the top five a good part of the season. Yeah. High School Huddle has Newcastle number 3, Guthrie number 4, and Guthrie's been in the top 5 all season long here on the High School Huddle. I think it's a fantastic game. Wouldn't be surprised on either team.
Yeah, no.
I think both fan bases will show up at Pump City Stadium and pack that place. The winner of this game will pack UCO as well. I'm going with the Guthrie Blue Jays. I had them losing 2 games this year. They lost 3. The only one I didn't get right was Blanchard. So I have good picks so far for Guthrie. I know the fan base is hoping I'm right again.
Yeah.
Again.
Bill, you're on the call. Give us a key.
Well, I think, you guys know my key is going to be, Guthrie's going to have to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback and try to slow down that passing game. I think the team that could create takeaways is going to win the ball game. Yeah. I think it's 2 well-matched programs, teams, both well-coached. So I think it's going to be a great football game. I think it's a great matchup-wise. I think it lends itself to being a great game. But takeaways, and for Guthrie to win, they've got to get pressure on the quarterback.
Well, and I think Chris got to watch Newcastle game, so he can probably answer on this side. But as far as the Guthrie side, That's how Guthrie beat Booker T last week, right? They pressured the quarterback. They're in the backfield all night long. The quarterback was throwing off his back foot all game long. And again, he had a lot of good receivers that were able to make those plays. And I'm not quite sure that Newcastle has those kind of dogs on the wide receiver spot to actually make those catches from that great quarterback that Newcastle has.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's gonna be something to look out for. Look to.
Yeah, but that quarterback from Newcastle can spin it.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
But kind of like a smaller version, a smaller talent level of David McCombs. Yeah. Kind of big guy that has to do a lot with his legs, and he also, I think he plays defense as well. Yeah. He has to do a lot for his team, but he's very capable. Carrie's rooting for those Blue Jays. Dason is going with Guthrie. Jared Williams, unbiased opinion here, so it's always good to hear from that. Says Elgin played and killed Newcastle in the scrimmage. Guthrie, watched them both from the press box. He will take Guthrie. So it'll be a fantastic matchup, no doubt about that. Kenny is going with the Blue Jays as well. Jordan also going with Guthrie. He likes the matchup there. Dason also likes those Woodland helmets. I'll take a close look at the Woodland helmets. The other 5A semifinal game is number 1 Carl Albert and number 2 Del City. A game that we all anticipated, expected. It's here. Again, we've been talking about a lot of people upset that it's a semifinal game, just the way it falls.
That's why the coaches signed coaches signed off on it.
Yep, voted anyway. Yep, it wasn't a unanimous vote.
Of course not. But majority wins.
Carl Albert, Del City.
Like I said, Del City. This would be the best chance for Del City to upset Carl Albert is in a semifinal game, not a championship game. With that being said, I like Carl Albert big. Big Carl Albert, big.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, I think Del City matches up. I mean, they've got the best chance of anybody that's played them so far this year. But remember, the closest game they had was a 29-0 shutout win over Guthrie.
Stillwater was 30-0.
Stillwater was 30-0. Carl Albert's defense is elite. It's not really good. It's not great. It's elite.
Yep.
They are extremely good. We talk about all the Division I commits. Many of them committed today, signed the dotted line today. I think all of us would say the heart and soul of that defense, though, is Davis for Carl Albert. I mean, he just goes and gets it done. A program kid a Carl Albert kid from day one. I think Carl Albert wins the game. I think they win by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
I know all the Guthrie Newcastle fans are big Del City fans.
Oh, no doubt.
Huge Del City fans.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah, absolutely.
You guys, everything you said, I totally agree with that. I think X's and O's, I'm not very good with those, but I think looking at X's and O's of this one, I think Carl Albert's corners and safeties can go one-on-one against those wide receivers of Del City. That allows the Cade Davis, Marcus James, the kid that's going to OSU,
Tristan Haynes,
and that defensive line to go after a 14-year-old freshman quarterback at Del City.
Yeah.
I think if you can go one-on-one and have all that pressure and set the tone for that one, I think that is a big part of the game. I think that Carl Albert will try to expose. Rickland Holmes for Del City is a great guy.
Great player.
But if you got Marcus James and Caden Davis isolated on you,
it's tough.
If you line up to go to receiver, you got Tristan Haynes and Trey Washington on that. The defense is elite. Carl Albert's got a senior quarterback. Not as talented as Kevin Sperry and all the other quarterbacks in Carl Albert history, but he can throw it up and make plays for his playmakers to make plays.
He's a gamer.
He is a gamer.
He's a big-time
gamer.
Yeah.
And he's a Carl Albert true kid.
Correct.
He's a true kid.
Correct.
You got to root for that as well. So.
I think you really have to worry about the X's and O's, Chris. You just got to worry about the Jimmies and Joes. And Carl Albert has the better Jimmies and Joes.
Yes, they do.
Tony Wilson's going Carl Albert by 18, 34-16. Dallas is going Carl Albert. Dason's going Carl Albert. Jordan, I want the upset. So
he's picking Carl Albert.
Jared's going Carl Albert. Kenny, Del City by 10. Boy, we will have an emergency podcast. We'll have an emergency podcast.
If what?
If Del City wins by 10.
Kenny says Del City by 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it.
Caden White says ready to play for sure. Absolutely, Caden.
Go get him.
All right, so that is our 5A picks. We'll move over to 6A2 football. We're way behind as usual.
Oh, yeah.
6A2 football, Muskogee Ruffers, they got a 15-game winning streak because they are the defending state champions. Had no issues with Stillwater, 35-14. Jamarian Ficklin, Bird, if you will, went to Utah on a recruit. He has committed to Utah and take on Choctaw. Choctaw's film crew was at UCO today. They play Saturday night. They were there scoping out the
ready to roll.
Ready to go. Choctaw's ready to go.
Ready to roll.
Choctaw also sent us their logo. They wanted the real logo, so we're like, okay. I think Choctaw's ready and all in for this football game. I'll talk to you guys during the break after here in a little bit. But Choctaw 31-21 over Sand Springs. Remember, with Choctaw, Cash Williams went down with an injury.
Yep.
And the backup quarterback came in and did a good job for them. We had been told, though, Cash Williams will be ready to play for the state championship.
That's exactly what we heard. That's what I heard.
Okay.
Too.
If they want a chance to beat Muskogee, Cash Williams has to play.
Yeah.
It has to play well.
Choctaw, Juju Smith.
Yeah.
By the way, the Choctaw kids that went to Tulsa, they were in the portal too.
Yeah.
Smith and another one. But on a side note, Choctaw. I remember I talked about Vian so close, just haven't been able to get over the hump. Well, Choctaw is here again, another chance. They'll have 55 highway patrolmen bring them in on their buses. It is quite the scene when Choctaw arrives. So we'll see how if they can upset Muskogee in that one. Muskogee, by the way, their offensive line is huge as well. I was able to watch them a little bit closer this past week. And we always talk about P.J. Wallace, the transfer in from Bartlesville. They got a huge offensive line. Travis Hill is the head coach. So it'll be a great matchup there with Jake Corbin's Choctaw Yellow Jackets.
Well, I'm going to pick Muskogee, not because they have the better team, in my opinion, but, we got coaches on that team who are fans of mine and Phil's. And then the Grandpa Johnny lived in Muskogee for all those years, and
Uncle Ryan.
And Uncle Ryan, rest in peace. So give me the Muskogee Roughers.
I remember being at Uncle Ryan's house. Help me hold on for one more day. He played that song all the time.
Oh, boy.
Wilson Phillips.
Oh, boy.
Someday somebody's going to make you want to turn around and say,
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Till then, baby.
That red solo cup's kicking in. Hey, I got Muskogee as well, but I have Muskogee because they have the better players.
Yes.
I think the coaching staff, I will say this.
Oh, they have Travis Hill.
The Muskogee kids will absolutely run through a fiery, burning wall for Coach Hill and that staff. We've seen it firsthand.
All of his teams out.
They are bought in. Coach Hill's a whale of a football coach. He's a great football coach.
Yep.
I mean, a tremendous football coach, but his staff is just first class. Their fans are going to travel well. Defending state champions. Haven't lost a game, it seems like, forever. I think Muskogee's just going to be too much, and I think they win that game handily.
Wasn't their last loss Carl Robert last year?
Yes.
Yep.
That was like, week 3 or 4 or something like that?
Like
second,
third week?
Yeah. I will go with the Muskogee Roughers as well. I just think the Bird and Ficklin and PJ running the football is just too much with the offensive line.
Yeah.
But
Bird might be the best overall
could be
football player in the state of Oklahoma. I mean, he's
kind of seems like Choctaw's more worried about his theatrics than they are about the game.
Here it goes.
The logos will be right on the broadcast.
The logos and then the highway patrolmen.
Muskogee ain't even thinking about logos.
They don't care about that crap.
They're actually doing X's and O's right now.
Dallas says Cash has to play the game of his life if they want to win. That's a good
tremendous athlete. Cash, tremendous athlete.
Good point, Dallas.
Yep. Yeah.
And Dayson's, I'm going to have to go with Muskogee.
The Roughers.
Muskogee as well. And then the final game. This game will be played on Friday night, 7 o'clock. Bixby and Owasso. We got to see them up close and personal last week. Highly impressed with Owasso. By the way, congratulations to Bixby. They opened up their $12 million football facility this week. If you want to go on Twitter and check that out, you can see all that good stuff there. So, Owasso and Bixby. Owasso, the story of high school football this year, I think. Undefeated, undisputed, number one. They have played everybody a couple times. They ended the revenge tour of Jinx. And now it's the Battle of the Burbs. We started the season with the Battle of the Burbs, and we're almost going to end the season with the Battle of the Burbs. Yeah. Owasso, Bixby.
Ronnie?
I go. Owasso, I know we were at the game last week, and we said it's one of the best games we've ever said. And then somebody said, man, I think Jinx might win. And we said, well, there's a good chance. And again, we went down the field again. They still have that same offensive line and the same defensive line. They're healthy. They're good. They're big. They're physical. And again, Bixby last week, very sloppy. Very, very sloppy. Lots of turnovers. But golly, that offense they run where everybody's moving, switching. We've also seen that before. They studied it. They know it's coming. My lock of the week is Owasso over Bixby.
A lock.
Can I have a second lock?
A lock for the Rams.
Yeah, I for all the reasons Ronnie said, I just want to just say this real quick. The offensive line and the defensive line for Owasso is the heart and soul of this team.
Those 3 Division I players.
And let me tell you, they are special, special, special. That D-line, Bixby can do all the cute stuff they want. They can move people 18 ways to Sunday. They can have trapeze artists flying across the field. I just don't see any way. I don't see any way. I don't see any way Bixby can handle that defensive line of Owasso. And then on the offensive side, I mean, we were up there calling the triple overtime game, and we were in the overtime. Somebody said, well, I don't know what you all do, but I just say get behind that great offensive line and just run the damn ball. I mean, when they needed it, they gave it to them.
They got 3 junior running backs. You can give it to any time.
Fresh legs every time. They got a sophomore quarterback that's played lights out all year, starting to get looks from O State and some Division I schools.
Ain't that crazy what we just said about Bixby? Ain't that crazy?
Yeah. It is.
They've lost 2 games this year, which is the first time they've lost 2 games in one season since, I think, 2017.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even tell you last time they lost 3 games.
Right. Well, it's going to be 2024.
Oh, 2024.
But I think Owasso, there's a chance Owasso beats them worse in the state championship game than they did in week 0. And they won by, I believe, 20 or 19 in week 0. I mean, I think they absolutely handle Bixby.
Man, those are tough, big words, Phil.
Yep.
And,
those are big words.
Against the Bixby Spartans.
Yep.
So,
and I love Bixby. I've lost many a bet because of Bixby.
40-21 was that score, first game of the season.
Yeah.
So, all right, Kenny Gillespie's going to Owasso by 21. Dason says, I don't know. I think it's going to be a close, but I think Owasso. Carrie's rooting for Owasso. She has family there. Carrie has family all
everywhere.
Everywhere. That's fine. Coach Mays, Donald Mays, looking forward to seeing you guys again.
Absolutely. Hey, Coach Mays.
Nice seeing you. Can't wait to see you again.
We'll see you, buddy.
Good luck. Going with Muskogee. So I will go with Owasso for everything. I won't say as strong words, but I'm just below. Just below that. Just below that. I'm very impressed.
You're confident in Owasso, though.
Yes. Yeah. Coach Alexander, what a great season it will be.
Coach of the year in Oklahoma.
For cap this one off. I really like the quarterback. He can use his legs when he has to. Although I'm kind of disappointed. I thought Hill was all over the place. So there's 2 number 7s for Owasso. So it kind of throws a little thing in there. But no, I think Owasso has that it factor this year, along with all that talent. Yeah. And when you have we haven't talked about Satter White.
I think he's so undervalued.
And we haven't talked about Overton a whole lot either. It's just they're just loaded. I think they're loaded. And Bixby, they still go to 2 quarterbacks. It's not the Bixby that we're used to. Still a good program.
Very good.
As Ronnie mentioned, they were sloppy with the football, but Hawk Shooter, what a great name that is.
Presley have a good game, I think.
Great wide out.
Hawk Shooter going to Houston. Presley's starting to get some offers.
Got offered by OU and OSU this week.
Yep.
Oh, he did?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
right after the semi game.
Yeah.
That's worthy.
His big game.
He's a physical kid, too, on defense.
Definitely.
He'll come up and pop you.
Yeah.
So
I'm not so sure that's not where he'll play in college.
We'll see. Definitely got the size compared to his brothers. So that will do it here on the High School Huddle. Don't forget, come check us out at UCO. Be sure to say hi if we see you. If you can't be at UCO, get that NFHS network. We have some great announcers lined up for this week, and hopefully the production is good as well. It's going to be a fun week of high school football. Take a break and come back and do it all again next week. So for Ronnie, Phil, I'm Chris. Best of luck to your football team, and we'll talk to you next time here on the High School Huddle.
Go Bulldogs.